How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be comparing the Beyerdynamic Byrons against the SoundMAGIC e10s. Both really cheap earbuds. So in this video we're going to find out which one is better. Now of course when it comes to sound quality, it is a bit of personal preference, so it's a bit subjective, but I'll try to explain everything. Now I'm also going to talk about the packaging and everything. Now I haven't done the review on the e10s, but I have been using the e10s for a while now, so I think I've got a good idea. Now let's start with the packaging. Now the packaging, the box that it comes with is better on the e10s. Now moving on to the carrying cases and stuff. So the Byrons actually come with the pouch, which loves to catch a bit of dust. You can but it's okay, and it has like this clampy mechanism here which closes up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take them out just to show you them. I really don't like this clampy case thing, but whatever. The e10s on the other side take the win over here. They come with a carrying case, a zip case, and I think it's much better. And it's also got along with the e10s, you've obviously got some space over here to put your ear tips in and everything. Now let's move on to the ear tips and what you get with them. So with the Byrons you just get 3 size ear tips, large, medium and small, and they're all the same. They got the same kind of hole for it and all that. That's all you get with those. Now with the e10s you get a whole bunch of random ones. So you got obviously the small ones, the same ones as these, but you've also got so these ones have a bigger hole in here, and there are other tips as well that have a smaller hole, and then there's these ones as well which are like double cupped, so you can do extra noise cancelling, or if you have a big ear, these will fit you. So you get more options with the e10s, and I think they take the cake over here because they have a lot more options over here. Quite impressed with what you get with them. So better case, more ear tips. I think they both take the win in my opinion. The Byrons do I think they're not bad, but you need to improve on the casing. Now let's talk about the connector that you get with it. I'll just put these to the side for a moment. I'll just pack this back in. Okay, so the Byrons you get a right angled plug. With the e10s you get a straight end one. Now I'm not sure if there is a version of the e10s that comes with the built-in remote thing which is on here. I'm pretty sure there will be, and those will work either with your iPhone or your Android device. Now the Byrons, they do have a built-in line remote thing with the volume up and down and pause button, so you got 4 pin connectors over here. But I prefer the right angled plug on the Byrons because it's a lot easier when you put it in your pocket, and obviously let's move, since we're moving on to the cable now. I would have to say the e10s they have a better cable. It's kind of rounded off and stuff, so it's you can see that it's much higher quality, but it does like to it is a bit flimsy. It just flings around all over the place, and the way that they came is packaged in like this, and it's never really getting out of shape. I can't straighten it out. It keeps going back to that shape, and it is a bit annoying, but I think the cable is higher quality. Now when you are listening to music, if you move the cable around, you can hear only a tiny bit of cable noise, but nothing more than that. The Byrons on the other hand have a rubberized cable which has the same properties, but I don't think it's as good as that one. So this one likes to really grip onto other things, so even grip onto itself because it's a rubber surface. But this one is, you can straighten this out a lot easily compared to the e10's cable, but this cable isn't as high quality. It does get tangled up, and also you have this stupid sticker thingy over here, like you don't know what earbuds are. But I think the e10s have a better cable. They just have their own problems. Now if you go onto the clip, which comes optional, they're both exactly the same. They just got a different logo on them. So I don't know, what do you want me to say? Now let's move on to the most interesting bit. I'll zoom in a little bit over here. We're going to talk about the buds themselves. Okay, so as you can see, looking at the buds, they are very similar. The Byrons are a bit smaller. I think they're a lot easier to carry around. I mean, where in your ear you can push them in a lot easily because they're smaller. But these are not really different at all. The speaker, I mean the drivers on them, they look exactly the same, and in fact the e10s are just £1 cheaper. So What's the difference? Well, I can tell you one thing. The E10s have a 10mm driver and the Byrons have a 9mm driver. So ultimately, just with that fact, I think the E10s should have a better sound quality. Both are made out of metal. They're both really light as well. As you can see, the cable is a bit annoying on the E10s, but you can get used to it. It's actually a lot better than the Byron's cable, in my opinion. Now, you got the right thingy-majig on the side of the E10s, whereas on the Byrons you got them on that tiny cable. You can't even probably read that, but you can tell. Now let's go ahead and take off the earbud. I guess I can show you this. The tip, the ear tip. So as you can see, the E10s have a driver just a tiny bit more bigger than the Byron driver. So maybe that makes a difference. Oh crap, which one's which? Now overall, apart from the sound quality, these both are almost identical considering the price as well. But for the price, I think what you get with the E10s is better than what the Byrons give you. So if you're the average user, get the E10s, they're probably better for you. Now let's talk about sound quality. So this thing is a bit confusing because at first I thought they're using the exact same driver since they're exactly the same price and all that. But then I read that the E10s have a 10mm driver, so it must be a different driver. I don't know. The funny thing is the Beyerdynamics, obviously since Beyerdynamic known for the bass, these have better bass, I can tell you that much. And the sound that they get out of this is a little bit more natural, the way it sounds. But the E10s have a more balanced sound. So what I find with the Byrons is the higher frequencies roll off after about 10 kilohertz. Not dramatically, but they do roll off to the point where you can tell that when you put these E10s on, that you can hear a pretty significant difference in the way that the music sounds. Now the problem with the E10s, the blue ones here, is that the mids are recessed just slightly, just a tiny bit. Now the bass is better on the Byrons, the higher frequencies and everything else I think the E10s are better at. And according to the manufacturers, the bass on the E10s, they're actually being tuned by an audio engineer. So I guess you can take the word for their bass because they do not lack in bass. The E10s have some amazing bass that I've been listening to, and it's just easier to listen to because it doesn't hurt my head as much. With the Beyerdynamics, obviously bass is a lot more powerful, even though the driver is small. So they're tuned a little bit differently, but they're kind of similar. So when it comes to sound quality, if you're a bass head, get the Beyerdynamics. If you love a more natural, a more balanced sound, or if you're an audiophile, get the E10s. I think they're better. My personal opinion, from an audiophile, I think the E10s are the better ones. But the Beyerdynamic are not far off. They actually have a more natural sound. It doesn't sound as artifacty or something, or as digitally enhanced, I guess I can say. But E10s are not bad. I've been enjoying the E10s more than the Byrons. Just gonna point out there. If you listen to hip hop, get the Byrons. If you listen to all sort of other stuff, especially jazz or higher quality audiophile stuff, the E10s I think are a little bit more suited. So yeah, the volume wise, somebody asked me in the comments, they're pretty much the same. But the thing is, the E10s, because the mids are a little bit recessed, it kind of feels like you're listening to music in a hall or something. And so you want to kind of bring that a bit higher, so you're gonna want to put the volume up a little bit more. But overall, the volume is kind of the same, so because they're obviously the same impedance and everything. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if there's anything I missed out. I'll let you know in the comment section below about either of these two. And I'll see you guys in another video.